Yeah, mate, just on our way to Melbourne now. Yeah, just the 48-hour flight. Fire? Oh, no, not here. No, it's fine. There's no fire. There's no fire. Fire? What do you mean there's a fire? In the factory? Didn't that happen last season as well? Like, what is going on here? Who's in control of this? Me? No, it's not me, surely. Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain, and welcome back to Forza Ferrari. We have the Australian Grand Prix of Season 3 today, and, well, hopefully a strong result coming for the team, but another fire at the factory. We've got to shut it down for 8 days. Now, I'm sure we had a fire last season, didn't we? There's a lot of fires in this game. It's a little bit, I don't know, maybe this stuff does go on in real life and you just don't hear about it, but yeah, I feel like health and safety needs to be kicked up a little. I don't know who's in charge of this, probably me. But yeah, that's a little bit too many fires for my liking. So that's set us back a little bit coming into this one. But we can see we are 20 points off second in the constructors. I mean, realistically, Red Bull are in our competition. They're in a category of their own. So, you know, we're still in that conversation, aren't we? So that's good. And, of course, a reminder of the drivers' standings. Can you even see this behind my head? Mick is 5th and Giovinazzi is 10th after 2 races. So that is good. Now, coming in to this race, we have a new rear wing. So we'll stick that on the car here together so we can see what it does. And it looks like a fairly sizable upgrade, I think. So we've got 3 of them, so we'll stick 1 on each car and hope that nobody crashes. Now, the only other thing that's happened is that the side pods, there was something that's on both cars now that was only on Mick's car in the last one. I think it's side pods. Yeah, we're just waiting on new front wings now. They are being developed, as are the new suspensions. They're currently in part development, so we'll have them in a couple of races' time in all likelihood. So, yeah, everything is on the up and up, and if we go and have a look at anything else here we need to look at, I don't think so. So let's go to the race weekend. Now it's going to be a wet race. Bloody Melbourne weather. That looks like heavy rain too, doesn't it? That's always stressful. Alright, so let's have a look here. So there's the new circuit map. Red is Sector 1, blue Sector 2, yellow Sector 3. It's a lot quicker than it used to be, the old Albert Park track, isn't it? It's very reminiscent of Saudi Arabia, actually. So top speed and high speed cornering is what you need. Time considerations there, we can see it's not a massive pit time loss. And you do save a little bit with a safety car as well. So we'll have to think about what we do there. It's a one-stop, it looks like. I wonder if you could do a soft, medium, soft as a strategy. And if we look here at the time, sort of compound performance, there's not a huge difference between the soft and the medium, but the hard is quite a drop-off, half a second a lap on the medium tyre. So I don't think you want to use a hard, which is why I wonder if you could do soft, medium, soft as a potential two-stopper to avoid that hard tyre. Because the hard to the soft is almost a sort of 7/10 a second, 7.5 a second a lap. I just wonder if maybe it might be worth doing soft, medium, or like an extra stop, doing this strategy, but basically not with the hard tire in there. But anyway, we'll see what we do. Maybe even a medium, soft could work, but we'll figure that out when we get in there. All right, so 2 cars in the top 4 would be very nice, but I don't think that's going to quite happen. Fastest lap would be nice. Someone in the top 4 would be nice as well. And we need 1 car in the top 6 in qualifying and the race, and we'll get our bonus payments there as well. So let's hope that that's all doable. But of course, being a wet race, it'll come down to whether I stuff up strategy, essentially, won't it? Let's head off to Melbourne. And indeed, it is heavy rain for the race. So I'm going to do some free practice, and I will see you for qualifying. Alright, so free practice is done. Of course, it dawns on me now that I don't have to worry about race strategy because it's going to rain, so we don't need to worry about saving tyres. Now, free practice has all gone kind of well. We've consistently been in the top 10. FP1, we were 5th and 7th. FP2, we were 6th and 7th. And then FP3, we were 3rd and 5th. So that's great. Obviously, that's very, very good. Now, we didn't quite nail both setups. Giovinazzi, we're going to actually put in some new parts for this one. The parts we used for the first 2 races will now be free practice parts. Giovinazzi, of course, has knackered one of his gearboxes already, so that's great. And yeah, we'll have brand new, fresh stuff. Now, we've seen this season, it's been very, very unpredictable to know exactly where we're going to qualify. Given how free practice has gone, I'm more optimistic than I have been previously that we're not going to need to come back for Q1, but I've said that the last 2 races and we've been back. So let's see where this next edit takes us. All right, and we are back. We have both cars. I've got to say, I'm absolutely loving this season in terms of it's just impossible to predict. Giovinazzi is currently 17th, so out. I think he did get held up by Lando Norris on his first lap, so there should be some time in the car for him. Mick is relatively safe in 11th, but it's only 2/10 between them, so I don't want him sitting in the pit lane and getting knocked out. So we sent him back out on a new set of tyres as well. Mick has done a purple first sector, so we'll like it, enjoying that. And oh, that is almost getting in our way. Did we just about get away with that? I wonder with Giovinazzi. Is anybody else going faster? So checkered flag is out, but we knew that was going to happen. There is not too much going on. I wonder if Verstappen could be vulnerable here. Let's see what Giovinazzi's done. Please go inside the top 15. He goes 13th. I wonder if he did get held up as Mick goes top. Excellent work. And could Verstappen find himself knocked out? Doesn't look like it. De Vries is there. Guan Yu Zhou. We could be in trouble here. Where's Guan Yu Zhou? Where's Maloney? Here we go with Zhou. Is he gonna... If he goes ahead of Verstappen, we're in trouble. And he doesn't, so we're through. Just. Only just. That was a bit tense, wasn't it? Mick goes quickest, though. And let's go to Q2. Alright, now we're going to take a risk here to try and save soft tyres for the race. We're 4th and 5th on used tyres. There's a few tenths of a second sort of that we're safe. And there's no one... The cars that are outside, it's sort of its teams. So I don't think it's not like there's... someone, you know, like a Red Bull or something that's out here when his teammates well up. So we did get away with that. We saved a set of tyres, and well done to both of them. 5th and 6th in the end. So that is huge. On to Q3. All right, we are back. We are currently fastest with Mick on a used set of tyres, and Giovinazzi is 5th. Now, with what happened with Mick is that he came out right behind George Russell and basically got towed around the whole lap. Now, because it's a lot of high-speed corners, it obviously worked out for him. So what we're doing now with Giovinazzi is we're trying to tow him around, and you know, dare we dream of having an all Ferrari front row here. We've gone green with Giovinazzi. We're sort of hoping nobody beats Mick, but I don't think he can go any quicker without the tow, basically. So let's see what we can do here. He's caught up a little bit as Giovinazzi. Where's he going to push himself? He goes second! Are we going to have an all-Ferrari front row? We just might, you know. We just might. Let's see who else is going to come around. Is anybody going any faster? Bottas and Tsunoda. It's not going to happen, and it is a dream Australian Grand Prix for me. We are 1st and 2nd and all-Ferrari front row. Magnificent. So note to self, use the tow at Melbourne. But brilliant. Absolutely superb. And completely unexpected. I mean, Mick topped 2 sessions. He's done really, really well. And now, of course, for the stressful bit, it's going to rain and I can only stuff this up. Oh, Jesus. All right, so are we thinking into maybe to dry? I mean, that's wet, isn't it? That is definitely a wet tyre. So we definitely want to start on a soft, because that's going to take us a fair way into the rain. The question is that going to be sort of right on the border of, you know, is it dry, is it not? Or is that going to be an inter? Surely that's inters there, isn't it? And then you could just about get away with an inter. And then you'll need to go on a wet tyre till the end. That's what I'm thinking. So something like that, and then something like that. Your wet tyre be somewhere there, and then you'll go on a wet to the end. So that is surely the way that's going to go. Now, what we're not going to do, I don't think, is push the soft tyre too much, just in case. And then we'll be able to go full push on the wet tyres when that time comes around. So we'll do the same thing with both cars. I mean, you kind of have to start on a soft tyre, don't you? And then we'll, yeah, we essentially go from there. Let's hope this works out for us. Could be on for a double podium. Alright, welcome back. What a wonderful sight that is. 2 Ferraris on the front row. Now, unfortunately, this is the second time I've done this. We were going okay, and then just as the rain came, it started to get exciting, it froze. So, not sure what happened there. But if I reference something that's happened that hasn't actually happened, then that's what it is. Yeah, it's because this is my second go at doing the first 15 or so laps of this. Now, we've got K-Mag on the outside. Ideally, we don't want you getting past us, please. And Giovinazzi, come on, mate. Can he hang it around the outside? He needs to give that up, actually, doesn't he? and maybe have another go down this straight. And that is a little bit of a spanner in the works, because ideally we would have been first and second and controlling pace from the front that way, because when DRS comes online, obviously 4 DRS zones at Melbourne, it is more or less impossible to break free of it. So I wonder if what we might do is not fight it too much, and I mean, even if we could use K-Mag out in front and just kind of go with him, keep our tyres in a little bit better condition, and then closer to the rain, we might be able to, you know, to really go at them. But I mean, K-Mag looks like a man on a mission, doesn't he? He wants to lead this race. Just don't hit him. Just don't hit him, Mick. Just don't hit him. That's fine. So we should have DRS now, although we won't have it down this straight. And yeah, I mean, we're more or less just trying to get to the rain as quick as possible. But yeah, if we can, we should be able to DRS along behind Magnussen, save some tyres now. Hopefully, anyway, that's the plan. And yeah, I'll come back if there's anything more that happens before the rain. Alright, now unfortunately Max has worked his way through to the front, which is a bit of a bummer, if we're honest. But we're sitting there in 3rd and 4th. We've charged up our batteries, and I'm not too displeased with how things are, especially as long as K-Mag can keep Max in DRS and we stay in DRS of him. It's just so difficult to get away with 4 DRS zones. Now we are just ever so slightly at risk of losing it here. But we seem to be better in the corners. Even we lose a little bit down the straights, but we're quite decent in the corners. So it's a front 5 right now, then a gap back to Esteban Ocon. You can see the chance of rain is increasing, so it might be go time soonish, actually. When I always... Oh, Russell's locked up, so that's a front 4 now. Yeah, it always feels a little bit cheaty-ish. Not that I could do anything about it, it froze. So but when I did it the first time, the rain arrived right on time. So I don't know if we can rely on that to happen again. But I think we've got enough tyre life here now. We can push on a little bit. And try and at least be ahead of K-Mag, even if we can't beat Verstappen. Because realistically, you know, we're looking at the Constructors' Championship. We want to finish 2nd if we can't win it, which I don't think we can. And having 2 cars ahead of Aston Martin and Mercedes is going to be a good thing for us, isn't it? So that's what we want to do. But yeah, rain will be with us momentarily, I suspect. So we'll come back when that is indeed the case. Alright, so we have got Giovinazzi going to the front here. I'm very tempted to push him on here, you know. We've got rain coming in 3 minutes. It looks like fairly heavy rain. So let's go for it, if for no other reason than to try and nick the fastest lap. Now, the other issue we have here is double stacking in a pit stop, potentially. Because we don't want that, as we do take fastest lap. We'll have another crack at it here as well. Because if it's going to rain, then whoever has fastest lap now is going to have that point at the end, assuming that they finish in the points, of course. So this will probably be the last clean lap, perhaps, without rain to get it. So we'll send Giovinazzi on that job. And yeah, he's broken the DRS to Magnussen as well, which might actually give Mick now a chance. Yeah, to go and get K-Mag, perhaps. Well, he does not have DRS. We'll let Giovinazzi finish off this lap, and then we'll take him off of battery. That should be him nailing down fastest lap, I would have thought and hoped. We will ignore that. The rain should start any second now. Ignore that as well. And rain has started, yeah. And Giovinazzi's done a 20.0, so that should be that more or less done. So yeah, that looks like fairly heavy rain. This is where we froze last time. So hopefully it was right there, actually, on this lap. So hopefully we've seen that threat off now. And yeah, we'll try and drive off into the distance a little bit. Now, what I don't want to do is double stack us, because we know from experience that we can't trust a Ferrari pit stop to be good enough. Oh, virtual safety car. Well, now we have to double stack, because we're going to save time doing it.
In this section.
So, inters all round.
The damage are okay.
And Don't know who's crashed yet, of course.
And yes, we have. We've had a crash.
Let's have a look here. Did I say Leclerc? Oh, it's Verstappen. It's right behind us. So Verstappen and K-Mag, and Verstappen has just cleaned him up. Well, that's so unfortunate for K-Mag, isn't it? But, well, that changes things a little bit, doesn't it? Now, are they both out? Where are they here? Yeah, they are both out.
So, weather update.
Please don't stuff this up. Please don't stuff. Oh, they stuffed it up. I freaking hate our pit crew so much. We're only on single speed, so perhaps it's not as bad. They stuffed them both up. Unbelievable. So, we got jumped, I think, there, didn't we? Where's Mick? Mick got jumped by Sainz in the pits. We'll conserve that. We will harvest that. Time penalty for Verstappen, so he's going to have a grid penalty coming for the next race, given that he can't serve that penalty. So Giovinazzi's in a good position. Mick should have been in a better position if we hadn't stuffed up pit stops, but he's not too bad, is he? He's just behind Sainz there. And Mick should go okay in the rain, and it is going to go to a damp track before this safety car comes in. So, or the safety car ends, I should say, virtual safety car ends. So, yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed. This is going to be a good one now, with both Red Bulls seemingly out of the picture as well. Why is Russell so far down? Alright, so virtual safety car has ended. Now we need to try and get Mick past Sainz here. Giovinazzi's got himself a nice little 5-second gap, so that is huge. Now, of course, there is no DRS now. And Tsunoda is right behind us, is he? Tsunoda's made out like a bandit. How's he managed to do that? So we want to get Mick past as soon as possible here then, don't we? Because we don't want Yuki hanging around the back of us. Not that we don't trust you, Yuki, but we want to try and keep it safe as much as possible here. And, yeah, if we can obviously get the overtake done, go back to first and second. This is a huge opportunity for us now, isn't it? Russell must have got messed up in there. I wonder if he's come in and then all the cars going past, so he had to wait. Because we did lock up, but he wasn't 16th, I don't think. But anyway, we are struggling a little bit to get past Carlos Sainz here. And it looks like we're dropping Tsunoda in the process. So, yeah. Well, if we're dropping Tsunoda, maybe we count our chickens here and just say we'll get him eventually, and save the Urs. Anyway, Giovinazzi is his lead's been cut a little bit, but he does have battery in hand, so we can push him on again if we want to. But definitely so far so good. Now we just need to wait for the proper rain in the wet tyres. So a little bit of deployment, a little bit of pushing on the tyres, and we are at first and second again as Mick swoops around the outside of Carlos Sainz. Nice move, Mickey. Alright, well this is all going just far too well. 23.9 for Gio, 23.6 who is catching, for Mick who's catching Gio, you can see him just up there. Compared to, I mean, Sainz in third, 24.5, almost a second slower than Mick. Yeah, now Giovinazzi does have Urs in hand, so we could push him away, but I don't really see a sense in doing that. And in fact, we might just look to top up Mick. We don't need to be racing each other. You know, we're racing for the Constructors' Championship here. We want to come first and second. We don't particularly care outside of that. What I'm not going to do is tell him not to race. If anything, given that Mick is quicker, we would tell Giovinazzi, all right, mate, you need to move over. But we don't need to risk anything right now. I wonder if he could even match his pace, saving the tyres a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you look at the tyre life, we're absolutely fine on that front, and we're just kind of cruising around, waiting for something to go wrong, really. So, fingers crossed that doesn't happen. Alright, so the track has just gone into dry. DRS is enabled again. What we want to be a little bit careful of here is making sure we don't hook the tyres. We back both cars off a little bit. And, yeah, I mean, it's not going to get to the point where you want slicks, and you don't want slicks, to be honest. But, yeah, if we can... What's the gap here? Just over a second. I mean, there's a big part of me that doesn't want to take this away from Gio, but as the track goes back to damp, so DRS is unavailable again. Yeah, there's a big part of me that doesn't want to take it away from him, but I mean, Mick has been the better car for the most part through the first 2 races, hasn't he? He's ahead in the championship, so maybe if we are looking at a driver's title, which again, I don't think we are, I think we're getting Red Bull on a very bad day here, so if we can maximise that, obviously, then that's great. That's what we want to do now, but I mean, Mick is in the pole position, really, isn't he, for the championship, so maybe we do need to, on that front, look to push him past, but it's still so early, isn't it, to be it's only round 3 of, what is it, 23 or something, so we'll see. But lap times, last lap, lost a little bit. Mick lost a little bit to Sainz, but Giovinazzi's right up there and in terms of lap time, and yeah, it's, like I say, it's all just going a little bit too well. Alright, so the Ferrari formation flying around Albert Park. We are going to ease Mick past by deploying him. We've taken Giovinazzi off of everything. And Mick is just the faster car right now. So there's no point. There's no point really fighting it. We'll just get him past. And we've got a 6-second lead. What we don't need to do is be battling here. We are expecting, we're inside the pit window from when we're expecting the heavy rain to come. So maybe in a minute's time. And then we're going to have to make a decision again. We can't really double stack, even unless we get a virtual safety car or something like that again. So, yeah, it's, like I said, I don't quite understand where everybody is today. We are just miles and miles ahead of the field. Alright, so we are 2 minutes make that away from the heavy rain. Now, I'm very tempted to tell him to really push on, but we're 7 seconds faster ahead of Sainz. We were a second, oh, he was a little bit quicker last lap. But we've more or less been pulling away almost a second, a little bit less, but more or less a second a lap. What we don't need to do is go and push it and have someone lock up or stick it in the fence, you know, pushing too hard. The big question we're going to have now is who comes in when. And if it's an absolute downpour, it might be, well, we'll just have to sort of play it sort of by feel when it happens. Any minute now, we're going to get this dump of rain. And ideally, I mean, the one good thing about being 7 seconds ahead, just Giovinazzi 7 seconds ahead, is that we've got a little bit, so the rain is, it's coming down now, it looks like a little bit, but we need to get to 4 mil before we go to a wet tyre, so we're still a little ways away from that yet. But you suspect maybe next lap, as grip goes to low, maybe next lap is the one that we might want to bring somebody in on. So we're going to be halfway there now. And it's only going to get worse, isn't it? So let's bring, well, we've got a little bit of time. Is it going to be 1 lap too soon? I'd rather come in a lap too soon than a lap too late, I think. Let's bring Gio in this lap. Stick on the wets. And then he can go to the end. And then Mick will bring in more when it's appropriate. This is a little bit of a gamble. 2.9. Where was that first time around? So Sainz has gone past. But we've got on a wet tyre. And we are still in third. So that's, needless to say, brilliant. Now we're going to deploy him. Because we need to be going as fast as we can here without completely destroying the tyre. Which is easier said than done, of course. We may have come in a lap too soon. I think we send Mick around again. And yeah, I think Gio has come in a lap too soon, perhaps. We could have brought him in this lap. Hopefully, so Sainz has come in. So if Sainz has come in, if everybody's coming in, then there's no need to risk keeping Mick out. He can come in this next lap. And again, we're just going to be a little bit careful on those tyre temps, please, Gio. You don't want to cook the tyre. He has come out ahead of Sainz, so that's important. Perez. So we're first and second with a pit stop done. I mean, Mick's gonna come in, out, and still be in front, I would imagine. We can take him off his deploy now. And we've not done too much damage to the tyre as well, which is good. Now let's hope we don't get a 13-second stop from Mick here. It just needs to be under 3 seconds, and it is. It's very, very good. The track has changed to wet. Mick has absolutely timed that to perfection. And, yeah. He is still in front of Gio, is he? Yes, we're pretty much status quo, aren't we, where we left off there. So, excellent work. His tyres are still cold, so he may lose a little bit of time here. But I don't see a need for us to push on too much right now. We just need to, we'll get the tyres up to temperature. Then we'll back him off. And just hope nobody sticks it in a wall at any point. Because if they don't, then we've got absolutely nothing to worry about here. We're going to cruise in first and second. Gio, I'm going to tell you, don't fight your teammate, please. We just need you to bring home the old one too. Magnificent stuff. At my home Grand Prix as well. Well, I wish this was more exciting to show you. It's just a little bit too easy. We are, if we look at last lap times, Mick is a couple of tenths faster than Giovinazzi, who is matching Sainz. And then if you look at the gaps, it's 21 seconds. There's a free pit stop between Sainz and Perez. So, I mean, it's going to take absolute disaster. Look on the minimap. There's first and second. There's fourth. They haven't even come onto the main straight yet, and we're, you know, coming around. I think it's South Melbourne's ground in there, isn't it? So, yeah, I mean, we're about to lap Porsche, who stayed out way too long on Inters. And, yeah, like I say, I wish it was more exciting. It's actually not a great race in terms of entertainment because Sonoda's got Ocon behind him, but the intervals you can see there, everybody's very well spread out, and that's because everyone was trying to get past Porsche sort of one at a time. So it's just spread the race right out. So it's, yeah, it's not a classic in any sense, but I think we can all agree that if we win it, and then we come second as well, it'll go down as one of the greats. 10 laps to go. So 3 laps to go. Let's enjoy this. What has essentially been a cruise to victory. I mean, the only jeopardy a little bit is the track is getting close to being okay for Inters, but A, you wouldn't need to at this point anyway, and B, we're so far in front. If we got a virtual safety car, Mick could genuinely stop and still come out just behind Gio. He'd still be, you know, ahead of every other make in the field. So, yeah, it's genuinely a drive that his dad would be proud of. Like, it's been magnificent from Mick. He's doing, yeah, I mean, fastest car on track still, yeah, still doing fastest times. Giovinazzi is putting in decent times himself. He's just matching Sainz. He's been pulling away from Sainz, actually, who did it, yeah. Well, you can see here itself, the gap is 10 seconds now. So, it's just been... If something was to go wrong now, then it would be cruel, because... Let's be honest, if Magnussen and Verstappen were still in the race, it would probably be very different, and if Russell hadn't locked up and sent himself off into the weeds, again, it probably would be a little bit different. So, we've had a lot of things, well, not a lot of things, but we've had Red Bull things go our way, which has definitely helped. But that being said, we have comfortably been in front once that happened with the virtual safety car. And, you know, K-Mag's teammate Stroll, I mean, he did stay out longer than he should have on Inters, so that's maybe not representative of where the car was. K-Mag certainly looked quick, but what would he have done in, you know, in wet weather? You know, we will never know. But it's just been... I remember Martin Brundle said, you know, so that you get that, and he said he never had that day in Formula 1 where he did in sports cars, where you just thinking, like, where is everybody today? And that's what this feels like. It's just like, where is everybody? We are just so far better than everybody else. And here we go, Mick, around the final corner. And Mick Schumacher will win at the Australian Grand Prix. Well done, mate. And let's go and jump on board with Giovinazzi as he comes across to finish second and complete our second 1-2 of the series. We did have that magnificent day in Vegas, but that That is much more convincing than Vegas
Okay,
was.
that's a
What
checkered
a
flag.
performance from Ferrari.
Your P2.
So a 1-2 with fastest lap point, a perfect weekend. A lot of people went forward, which means second half of the field, a lot of people are going to have gone back. But great drive from Perez to come up 15 places, wasn't it? And then if we go down, we can see, yeah, everybody that sort of went the other direction there. But huge result. It moves Mick up to 4th, Giovinazzi up 5 to 5th. And yeah, he's ahead of Carlos Sainz now, probably on just the one... the podium, is that what it is? I'm not quite sure why he's in front. Maybe better, best result. But Mick, almost a perfect weekend, wasn't it? Fastly up pole, led most of the race and the win as well. And if we look at the constructors, that is more like it. We are 3 points off second now, a 44-point weekend, a disaster for Red Bull. And yeah, absolute glory for Ferrari. Now, did we top it off with a point in the pits? No, we did not. And that doesn't surprise anybody. And I mean, let's not forget we stuffed up a double stack. If that hadn't been under virtual safety car, then that would have been a massive disaster, wouldn't it? But we got away with it, and yeah, it smiles all around. And Giovinazzi is now an 83 ranked driver as well, so I think that moves him level with Mick. So we've got a sprint weekend up next. The board is going to have absolutely love that, surely. And yeah, that is just so happy, isn't it? The disaster that was Bahrain 2 races ago, to go from that to a 1-2 is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that as much as I have, make sure you hit thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time for the sprint weekend in Baku. And that is going to be an interesting one, that's for sure. Take care.